You've done it. Walked out of a test, an interview, a meeting, quietly certain you crushed it. Maybe you did. But here's the unsettling part. The people who feel the most certain they did well are very often the ones who did the worst. And from the inside, you have no way to tell which one you are. The feeling of being good at something and actually being good at it are two different signals. Your brain hands you the first one and lets you assume it's the second. Most of the time, you never find out the difference. And the gap between how good you feel and how good you are can be enormous. In 1995, a man named MacArthur Wheeler walked into two Pittsburgh banks in broad daylight and robbed them with no mask, no disguise, smiling at the security cameras. When police showed him the footage that night, he was genuinely baffled. He had rubbed lemon juice on his face, because lemon juice is used as invisible ink, and truly believed it would make him invisible to cameras. He wasn't on drugs. He was just so incompetent that he couldn't recognize his own incompetence. A psychologist named David Dunning read about the case and asked a haunting question. If a man can be too clueless to know he's clueless, how many of the rest of us are walking around the same way? That question points to a trap that's almost cruel in its design. The exact skills you need to be good at something are the same skills you need to know whether you're good at it. If you don't understand grammar, you can't spot your own grammatical mistakes. If your logic is weak, it's weak in the very moment you're trying to check your logic. So the worse you are at something, the worse you are at seeing that you're bad at it. Incompetence doesn't just make you fail. It hides the failure from you. You're robbed twice, and you only notice the first theft, if you notice it at all. Dunning and his student Dunning-Kruger took this into the lab in 1999. They gave people tests in grammar, logic, and even humor, then asked each person to estimate how they'd done compared to everyone else. The results were startling. The people who scored in the bottom quarter, the actual worst performers, guessed they were performing better than about 2 out of 3 people. They didn't just overrate themselves a little. They placed themselves comfortably above average while sitting near the very bottom. The less they knew, the more convinced they were that they knew plenty. And when the researchers showed them how others had done, the worst performers still couldn't see it. You might assume this is about a rare, oblivious few. It isn't. Ask a room full of drivers whether they're better or worse than average, and around 90% say better, which is statistically impossible. The same holds for how funny people think they are, how well they judge character, how ethical they believe themselves to be. We are all quietly convinced we're in the top half. This is the water we swim in. And notice how the illusion protects itself. When you picture someone hopelessly overconfident, you picture other people, the loud coworker, the relative who lectures the whole table at dinner, never yourself. That reflex, the quiet certainty that you're the clear-eyed exception in a world full of the deluded, is the effect operating on you in real time. Everyone feels like the reasonable one in the room. That's exactly what it would feel like from the inside, even if you weren't. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't a story about other people's stupidity. It's a description of a blind spot sitting inside your own mind right now. This is the quiet lie your mind tells all day long. That feeling sure is the same as being right. It isn't. Confidence is an emotion. It rises and falls on things that have nothing to do with truth. How familiar something feels, how fluently the words come, how good your mood is. A con artist is supremely confident. A beginner who's watched 3 videos feels ready to invest. The feeling of certainty is generated first, and your brain reaches for reasons afterward. Nowhere in that process is there a check that asks the one question that matters. But am I actually correct? Now flip it over, because the effect cuts both ways. The real experts, the people who genuinely know their field, often underrate themselves. When something is easy for you, you assume it's easy for everyone. You forget how hard it was to learn, so you quietly discount your own skill and imagine the room is full of people just as capable. That gnawing feeling that you're a fraud, that everyone else has it figured out and you're faking it, that's not weakness. It's frequently a symptom of competence. The more you truly know, the more you can see the vast territory you still don't. So why can't you just introspect your way out of this? Because a blind spot, by definition, is the one place you cannot look. Your sense of your own ability is built by your own mind, the same mind whose gaps you're trying to measure. Asking your incompetence to rate your competence is like asking someone to proofread a language they don't speak. Everything looks fine to them. The mistakes are invisible, not because they're hidden well, but because the reader has no idea what a mistake would even look like. You feel calm and capable. That calm is not proof of anything. There's a cruel little spike early in learning anything. You read one book, take one class, and suddenly you feel like you understand the whole subject. Confidence shoots straight up, long before your actual skill does. People call this peak Mount Stupid, and you've stood on it. We all have. It's the friend who watched a documentary and now argues medicine with doctors. It's you, a month into a new hobby, certain you've seen the bottom of it. Then, if you keep going, something humbling happens. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you knew on that peak, and your confidence actually drops as your competence finally begins to climb. This isn't just an embarrassing quirk, it quietly steers your biggest decisions. The confident are more persuasive, so in meetings, hiring, and elections, we reward certainty over competence and hand the loudest voice the wheel. On a personal level, the effect keeps you from ever getting better because you can't fix a weakness you're convinced is a strength. The worst investors feel like geniuses right up until the crash. The worst drivers feel safe right up until the wreck. Every time your certainty runs ahead of your skill, you're making decisions on bad information and feeling great while you do it. That gap between confidence and ability isn't harmless. It's exactly where costly mistakes live. So how do you fight a distortion you can't feel? You stop trusting the feeling and start trusting evidence. Assume, as a default, that you might be the person overrating yourself, and go looking for the proof either way. Seek out feedback that can actually sting, not from people who will flatter you, but from those skilled enough to see what you can't. Learn a field deeply enough that you gain the second skill, the one that lets you judge your own work. Keep score with real outcomes, not gut feelings. And treat certainty as a yellow light, not a green one. The goal isn't to feel worse about yourself. It's to make your confidence earn its place. Because the most dangerous moment isn't when you know you're out of your depth. It's when you're out of your depth and feel completely fine. That calm, certain, above-average feeling is exactly the sensation the effect predicts in the people who understand the least. MacArthur Wheeler felt invisible right up until the handcuffs. So the next time you feel absolutely sure you're right, sure you're good, sure you've got this, treat that feeling as the beginning of a question, not the end of one. Real skill doesn't announce itself with certainty. It shows up as the quiet, uncomfortable awareness of how much further there is to go.